Hi, I'm Liz Segran. I'm a senior staff writer here at Fast Company, and I've been stuck at home just like you have. Here are a couple of things I've been doing to stay sane. So my first recommendation is a new show on FX called Mrs. America. This show reveals how hard it was to pass the Equal Rights Amendment in the United States and how many women actually opposed this fight for equal rights. Kate Blanchett is the lead actress in the show, and she basically embodies all of the women who were opposed to this fight for equal rights. And I think the show is fascinating because it gives us a glimpse into how hard it was to achieve the women's rights we have today, but also it gives us some insights into the fights that are continuing to go on in the Constitution. My next recommendation is a great podcast that I've just discovered called Deep Background with Noah Feldman. Now, usually when we're not in the midst of a pandemic, I have NPR in the background while I'm cooking or doing chores around the house. But lately, I've been finding it really stressful to get this kind of barrage of really scary headlines. But I love this podcast because Noah Feldman is a law professor, and in each episode, he talks to some expert who is dealing with some aspect of the coronavirus crisis. He's spoken to economists and epidemiologists and data experts and even a religious scholar about various parts of the crisis. And it really comforts me to know that there are real experts hard at work fixing our country during this time. So my next recommendation is not something necessarily to consume, but it's a range of activities and things that I've had around me that have made me feel cozy and intellectually engaged during this period. So I found this amazing company in California called Koyuchi that makes lots of organic cotton things. I've personally been living in their organic cotton robe, and I'm a little bit embarrassed to say that when I'm not actively filming a video for you guys, that is usually what I'm wearing. A lot of the things I do in my spare time now are very slow, deliberate activities. So for instance, I've taken up knitting. There's this amazing startup called We Are Knitters that will send you cool patterns and instructions for how to knit simple things. And I've already knit a blanket. I've also taken up doing puzzles, which was not something I ever did before this crisis, but this amazing startup called Piecework makes these beautiful but very complex puzzles. So over the week, my whole family sat down and did a puzzle that was an enormous photograph of bagels, which is our favorite food. So that made a lot of sense for us. I found that this has been an incredibly stressful, anxiety-inducing time. And I've been finding that these TV shows and podcasts and activities have been making me feel a little bit happier. And so I hope that they offer you some joy as well.
I personally have been working from home for the last several years, so this isn't entirely new to me, but there are definitely new challenges that I'm up against and ways that I need to adjust. You know, one of the biggest things that I'm dealing with as a business owner and a leader is making sure my employees are okay. We have employees spread out around the world, and everybody's dealing with this crisis differently. And it's really critical that we are giving them the space they need to figure out, how they're going to navigate through this, checking in regularly, and just supporting how we can. On that note, too, I think a lot of us get really hung up on this idea that we have to have a rigid schedule. We're trying to mirror what our schedules were like when we were at the office, but when you're at home, it's different. And it's okay to work at night and to, take long breaks off during the day. Maybe we're parents who have, children we have to attend to right now. But really, pay attention to what time of day works for you and what environment you thrive most in, and just adjust accordingly. And really, I think overall, just cutting ourselves slack is so critical. I do know that we will come out of this, and we will come out of it stronger and more capable than ever.